Let me tell you something real, something every person needs to hear. The moment you start chasing a man, you start running away from yourself. You start shrinking your value, shrinking your standards, shrinking the energy that makes you powerful. Because when you chase somebody, you're telling them they are the prize, and you forget that you are the prize too. You forget that you bring something to the table that nobody else can. You forget that your presence, your heart, your loyalty, your strength, these are not things to be handed out to somebody who hasn't even shown up for you. Value yourself first, because confidence changes everything. And let me break this down for you in the realest way possible. The moment you start valuing yourself, the whole world starts responding differently to you. People treat you based on the standard you set for yourself, and if your standard is low, if your confidence is shaky, if you walk around believing you are not enough, then you allow people to play with your time, your heart, and your worth. When you start valuing yourself, you don't chase anyone, you don't beg anyone, you don't try to convince anyone that you deserve love, attention, or respect. You move like someone who knows what you bring to the table, and that energy is powerful because confidence is not loud, it's desperate, it's not dramatic. Confidence is calm. Confidence is knowing that if someone walks out of your life, you still have yourself. Confidence is being able to say, if you don't see my value, that's your loss, not mine. When you value yourself, you stop accepting half love, half effort, and half-hearted apologies. You stop giving people access to you who haven't earned it. You start seeing yourself as someone worthy of more than the bare minimum. And here's the thing, a man can sense this. Men know when a person values themselves. They feel it in the way you carry yourself, in the way you speak, in the way you set boundaries, in the way you don't entertain nonsense. When you value yourself, you don't chase a man because you understand that chasing somebody only happens when you believe they hold something you don't have. When you're confident, you know you already have everything you need within you: peace, strength, loyalty, love. And when someone comes into your life, they should be adding to that, not becoming the foundation of it. Confidence is magnetic. It pulls in people who recognize your strength and repels those who want to take advantage. It makes a man step differently. It makes him show up with respect because he knows he is dealing with someone who will not settle, someone who will not tolerate excuses, someone who won't be manipulated by mixed signals or emotional games. A confident person is not afraid of being alone, and that scares the wrong man but challenges the right one. It pushes him to step up, to be clear, to be intentional, because he knows that losing you means losing someone who knows their worth. When you value yourself, you set the tone for every relationship in your life. You teach people how to treat you without saying a single word. Your energy speaks for you. Your boundaries speak for you. Your silence speaks for you. You stop chasing love and start attracting it. You stop running after validation and start inspiring respect. You stop looking for someone to make you feel worthy because you already walk in your worth. And when you move like that, everything changes: what you accept, what you tolerate, and most importantly, what you attract. A man respects what he has to earn, not what chases him. And this is one of the realest truths you will ever learn about relationships. When something comes too easy, people take it for granted. When someone doesn't have to put in effort, they don't value what's in front of them. This is human nature. A man is wired to pursue, to show effort, to step into that role where he proves himself. And when he doesn't have to do that, everything is handed to him without him earning it. He doesn't feel the same level of appreciation or commitment. When you chase a man, you remove the very thing that makes him rise to the occasion. You take away the challenge, the purpose, the effort, everything that builds respect. Men don't respect what chases them because chasing flips the entire dynamic. It changes you from the prize to the follower, the standard to the seeker. And when that happens, he starts feeling like he's the only one who matters, like he is in control, like he holds all the value. But the truth is, he should be giving value too. He should be earning your time, earning your trust, earning your love, earning your attention. He should be showing up consistently, not being rewarded for doing the bare minimum. The moment you start running after him, he stops running toward you. And when he stops running toward you, he starts questioning whether he even wants what he has, simply because he didn't have to work for it. Respect grows through effort. A man feels connected to what he invests in. If he puts in time, he values you differently. If he puts in effort, he treats you differently. If he has to work to win your heart, he protects it when he finally gets it. When everything is given without him having to show who he truly is, he doesn't become his best self. He becomes comfortable, careless, relaxed, and sometimes even disrespectful because he knows he doesn't have to do anything to keep you. That's why you should never chase, because chasing teaches him that he can put in zero effort and still receive your full attention. It tells him that your standards are flexible, your boundaries are weak, and your value is negotiable. But when you pull back, when you let him take the lead, when you allow him to show what he's made of, something powerful happens. He steps up if he's serious. He puts in effort if he cares. He shows consistency if he sees your worth. A man who wants you will never risk losing you. He will try. He will act. He will pursue. He will earn his place in your life because he knows that real love requires investment. You don't have to make him respect you. You don't have to force him to choose you. You don't have to chase him to stay relevant in his life. All you have to do is hold your value. Because when a man has to earn you, he appreciates you. When he has to earn you, he protects you. When he has to earn you, he respects you in a way chasing could never create. Your silence and standards teach him more than your words ever could, and this is something people don't realize until they live through it. You can talk, explain, repeat, argue, cry, and try to make someone understand what you need, but if they're not ready to listen, your words fall on deaf ears. A man doesn't learn from pressure. He learns from presence. He learns from energy. He learns from what you allow and what you refuse. When you stop over explaining and start showing through your actions, that's when the real lessons begin. Silence is powerful because it removes the noise, the back and forth, the excuses. It leaves him alone with his own thoughts, his own guilt, his own realization of what he's risking by not stepping up. When you stop arguing and simply distance yourself, he starts noticing the difference. He starts feeling the absence of your voice, your warmth, your presence. Your silence creates space for him to see his own behavior clearly. It forces him to confront the truth he's been avoiding. A man begins to understand your value not when you chase him, but when you pull back and let him see what life feels like without your effort. Silence is not a game, it's a boundary. It tells him, I'm not going to beg you to treat me right. I'm not going to fight you for the bare minimum. I'm not going to carry this alone. And that message hits harder than any speech ever could. Silence alone isn't enough. Your standards are what truly teach him how to treat you. When you have standards, you show him what is acceptable and what isn't. You show him that access to you is earned by effort, respect, and consistency. You show him that you are not moved by empty words or temporary gestures. Standards make it clear that you are not afraid to walk away if you are not being valued. When a man sees that you stand firm in what you expect, he realizes he can't come to you with laziness, confusion, or half interest. He understands that if he wants a place in your life, he has to come correct. Standards don't push a good man away. They guide him. They give him direction. They tell him exactly what he needs to do if he wants to be part of your world. And a man who truly wants you will rise to meet those standards. He will adjust. He will take accountability. He will show through his actions that he understands your worth. The wrong man will fall off, and that's the point. Standards separate who is serious from who is just passing time. Your silence and standards create a powerful combination. They speak for you when your words no longer make an impact. They protect your peace and remind you of your worth. They force him to step up or step aside. And the man who truly values you will not be intimidated by your silence or threatened by your standards. Instead, he will be motivated. He will understand that your silence isn't punishment. It's clarity. Your standards aren't demands. They're self-respect. And that understanding is what changes everything. A man steps up when he feels you won't settle for less, and this is a truth that changes every relationship. When a man knows you will accept anything, he gives you anything. When he knows you'll settle for the bare minimum, he gives you the bare minimum. The moment he realizes you are not that person, when he senses that you stand on your worth, that you don't bend your boundaries, that you don't cling to someone who's inconsistent, that's when everything shifts. A man rises when he knows he can't play with you, when he knows your standards are real, not just words you say in the heat of the moment. He steps up because he understands that effort is required to keep someone who respects themselves. A man is motivated by clarity. If he knows you will stay even when he doesn't try, he gets comfortable. If he knows you're afraid to lose him, he stops giving his best. When he sees that you're not scared to walk away, when he feels that your peace matters more to you than the relationship, he starts thinking differently. He starts looking at his own behavior. He starts realizing that keeping you requires intention, not excuses. You don't have to beg him, push him, or chase him. Just knowing that you're willing to let go if you're not treated right forces him to decide what kind of man he wants to be in your life. People don't change when you argue. They change when they fear losing something valuable. When a man sees you won't settle, he recognizes that you hold yourself to a higher level. And the right man doesn't run from that. He grows because of it. He becomes more consistent, more present, more thoughtful, not because you demanded it, but because he understands that someone like you doesn't come around often. He knows another man would gladly give you what he's been taking for granted. That thought alone wakes him up. When you refuse to settle, you set the tone. You show him that he must show up with honesty, effort, and clarity. You show him that confusion, mixed signals, and inconsistency are unacceptable. A man steps up when he sees that you won't sit in a relationship that drains you emotionally. He steps up when he feels that you are grounded enough to walk away from a situation that isn't growing. That's when he stops taking you lightly. That's when he becomes intentional with his calls, his plans, his words, his actions. And here's the powerful part. A man stepping up isn't just about proving something to you. It's about him proving something to himself. He becomes a better man because he knows he has someone worth being better for. Someone who pushes him to grow without saying a word. Someone who inspires effort through presence alone. The right man will always rise when he knows you won't settle for less, because your standards don't scare him. They shape him, guide him, and make him realize that loving you requires strength, consistency, and commitment. Real connection grows when you stay in your power, not in pursuit, And that is one of the most misunderstood truths about relationships. People think that the more you chase someone, the closer you get. They think the more you try to prove yourself, the more secure the bond becomes. But the opposite is true. The moment you start chasing someone, you step out of your power. You step out of your self-respect. You step out of your natural worth. And when you step out of your power, the connection weakens because it becomes one-sided. It becomes desperate. It becomes unbalanced. Connection can't grow in an unbalanced space, and love can't grow where one person is doing all the emotional lifting. When you stay in your power, you create space for real connection to build. Power doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being centered. It means knowing who you are, what you bring, and what you deserve. When you stay grounded in your worth, you're not trying to force someone to see it. You let your energy speak. You let your presence speak. You let your consistency and your standards speak. And that's what draws the right man toward you. Real connection happens when you stand firm, when you're not afraid to let things unfold naturally, when you don't rush, push, or beg. It grows when you give things time to reveal what they really are. A man feels a deeper bond with someone who carries themselves with confidence and self-respect. When he sees that you're not chasing him, not pressuring him, not trying to control the pace, he starts getting curious. He starts wanting to know more. He starts wondering what makes you so secure, so calm, so grounded. That's the energy that pulls him in, not the kind that runs behind him, not the kind that tries to fill silence with words or emptiness with effort. The energy of someone who knows their own value creates a mystery that he wants to understand and a peace he wants to be around. Staying in your power also means not shrinking yourself to keep someone close. It means expressing your needs without fear. It means being honest about what you want without apologizing for it. When you show up authentically, without pretending or performing, the connection becomes real because he sees the true you. And the real you is where love grows. You are not meant to chase, you are meant to attract. And attraction happens when you're aligned with your own worth, not when you're bending yourself to fit into someone's comfort zone. When you stay in your power, you stop giving your emotions away to someone who hasn't earned that responsibility. You don't get thrown off by mixed signals or half-hearted effort. You don't crumble when someone pulls back. You don't lose yourself in someone's inconsistency. Instead, you remain steady, letting people show you who they are without trying to guide their behavior. And when a man sees that you're not dependent on his validation to feel good about yourself, he connects with you in a deeper, more meaningful way. He respects you. He listens to you. He invests in you because he sees that you are whole, with or without him. Real connection grows from strength, desperation. It grows when both people bring their best selves to the table. And when you stay in your power, you automatically invite him to rise to his. You inspire him to match your energy, your maturity, your clarity. That's when the connection becomes something worth building. Something that has depth. Something that lasts. The right man moves toward you without pressure or chasing, and that simple truth can save you from a whole lot of heartbreak if you really understand it. When a man genuinely wants you in his life, he doesn't sit back waiting for you to prove yourself. He doesn't leave you confused, wondering, guessing, hoping. He steps forward because something in him recognizes your value immediately. He sees your energy, your strength, your peace, your presence, and he knows that someone like you doesn't come into his world every day. A man who is serious doesn't need convincing to act right. He naturally does what a grown, intentional man is supposed to do. A man who truly wants you doesn't hide behind mixed signals. He doesn't disappear for days and return like nothing happened. He doesn't breadcrumb you with small doses of attention to keep you hanging on. When a man's heart is in it, his effort is consistent. Not perfect, consistent. He calls, he checks in, he wants to know how your day is. He pays attention to what you say, to what you like, to what you need. He remembers the details that most people overlook. He shows you through his actions that you matter, not just with occasional words that sound good in the moment. The right man doesn't move toward you because you chase him.